Middle school students in Tennessee may have an option soon to take classes in Black history. A bill sponsored by Representative Yusuf Hakeem of Chattanooga passed the State House this week and is moving to the Senate. Liam Collins is in the studio now. And Liam, tell us, what did he say this accomplishes?
Yes, and primarily Representative Yusuf Hakeem says the class will teach kids about the extraordinary accomplishments of African Americans, but he also says he had to walk a fine line between teaching about Black culture and drawing eyes of opponents of the so-called critical race theory.
There was, I guess, an underlying factor is that whether this would be used to, in a sense of speaking, bash people.
Representative Yusuf Hakeem is trying to bring African American history and culture to Tennessee classrooms.
What we intended to do was to put forward the positive impacts that African Americans have had, not only in the state, but in the nation and the world.
He's a sponsor of Tennessee House Bill 2106, which passed the State House almost unanimously this week. That bill would make African American history part of the curriculum for grades 5 through 8. If passed, it would create a class for middle school students teaching Black history, Black culture, and the contributions of Black people.
But I think what we had to do was to give more detail to my colleagues.
Hakeem says he's been trying to get the bill passed for almost 2 years, but kept hitting roadblocks. His colleagues expressed concerns that the bill resembled the so-called critical race theory, a controversial teaching of how racism has shaped American policy. The misconception that his bill was critical race theory slowed his bill's progress.
Critical race theory, first of all, is not being taught in Tennessee schools, K through 12. And as a result of that, it was being used to diminish this kind of effort.
But the bill passed with near unanimous support from both parties. Hakeem says his colleagues came to understand his stance that the class would broaden students' understanding of multiple races and cultures.
It's just a start as to people working together, sitting down, talking, finding that medium ground.
The bill is scheduled to be heard in the Senate next week. It would have to pass there and be signed by Governor Bill Lee before becoming law. Cindy?